I really liked how you modeled a lot of your tasks. You stood up there and you have such a calm, relaxing voice for the students to listen to. You did a really good job with that.
Thank you.
You weren't trying to talk over them, because sometimes that's hard to do. When they get louder, the teacher gets louder, but really you were getting softer, which is exactly perfect. You want those students to get a little quieter to listen to you, so that was really good. What do you think you learned about yourself as a teacher today?
I learned that I have to really think on my feet if something's not going exactly as planned, like we did in the lesson when we had to figure out the goal, or going over answers or questions that they didn't know, like how to do that so that I'm addressing the questions that they have and not just random questions I think they have. So
Right.
just being able to think on my feet and change with the lesson.
Yeah, right there,
the
that
kids.
active flexibility as you're
Yeah,
out there
that's
teaching.
kind of hard.
It is. It's a skill that you really develop as you teach more, and it comes easier when you start teaching, all day, every day in your classroom. Good. The one other thing I wanted to ask you about, your lesson plan looks excellent. I really liked how you had your objectives. You had them listed as what the student will be able to, and then also on the board you had an I can statement, which is what the school has you do for the students. One thing that I didn't see in your lesson plan was a math practice for the math lesson plan. So if you had to pick a math practice, do you know one that would have gone well with this lesson? And if you can't think of one off the top of your head, I have them pulled up right here on my computer.
Is there one about perseverance?
There is one about perseverance. Number 1.
Make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. So some of them were having a tough time figuring out, but I didn't just give them the answer, or I had to make them work through it, I suppose, themselves, even not just with me, but in their partnership. I reminded them, don't tell your partner the answer, guide them through it so they can answer it.
Perfect. And you did a good job with that, because when you were asking them questions, they would, like when you said, what's the top number, and they said numerator, and then you even prompted them further, what does that mean? And that's excellent to keep them thinking. You didn't just accept their first answer and know if it was a guess or not when they gave it to you. So just pointing that out to students, you're going to persevere in these problems. Some of them are going to be difficult. This is a review today. We've learned all this fraction stuff. But point that out to them. Yeah, sometimes it's a good way to, the students that come to you the first thing every time when they have a question, remember, you're going to persevere in solving this problem. Come to me with a specific question and I'll be able to help you, instead of just, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Good. What other questions do you have about your lesson today, or any other comments you'd like to make?
One thing, I have the bulletin board at the front, and it had just different parts of the fraction, the denominator. But there was a part I wanted to add about maybe adding in the steps for solving that. Would that be like beneficial, or do they just need to write it down themselves and remember it? I didn't know how to do that, because they have like part of the steps, but then they don't remember the order of the steps or something like that. So
Sure. And I
didn't
think,
want to make it too much information on the board.
because too many steps, then they're not going to read through it anyway. I think one way to work through that is actually have the students create that. So maybe you could have them get in groups, since you've already built that conceptual understanding of how to add and subtract fractions. Maybe in your groups, each one of the groups could be in charge of creating the steps of how to do that specific type of problem.
Okay.
So if they're going to add, maybe add simple fractions and add mixed numbers, and subtract simple fractions, subtract mixed numbers, and have them create those steps on their own.
Okay.
Then they're going to have a little bit more ownership of that. But I did like how you referred to those anchor charts. At the very beginning of the lesson, a student couldn't quite remember, I think it was numerator or denominator, and all you did was not even a word. You just pointed right here, and she knew exactly what to do. She looked over and was able to be successful with that question. So I think the students know that's there, and they would really be able to use that.
Okay.
Good job. Thank you for meeting with me today. We need to go ahead and set up our third observation appointment.
Okay.
So what I'd like you to do when you get back to your classroom and look at your schedule, email me a time, maybe the last week of April, that I can come in to observe a full lesson again, and we'll do your third observation.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.